Welcome to part 2 of the Wiki tutorial. If you have not viewed part 1, you may want to, because there'll be some items in here or instances in here where you may see something that doesn't make sense to you, or use a particular word or language that doesn't make sense to you that probably will if you viewed the first one. So again, this is the part 2, so make sure that you have viewed part 1 prior to this. But here we are again in our view mode, looking at the page, okay? And there's a few more tools or functions I wanted to point out to you. One is how to attach an item to a page. And the best way to do that is if we come up here to these tabs again, so these tabs have become very important for using the wiki, and click on the tab titled Attachments. Okay. Now what you'll see is that there are currently some attachments that I've uploaded for example. So let's go ahead and upload another one. And then I'll walk through what all's on there as far as the information given. So if you have attachments, you'll need to scroll down. If you don't, this will be the first thing that you see. Okay, notice that there's the test wiki, okay, which is the title of the wiki. Down here will be a place that you can add comments to whatever the attachments are. Okay, so once you put the attachments up, if you want to add information to it as far as whether it's an image or an Excel or Word document, upload into, notice here that this is where, as far as within the course, which wikis have been created. So in this course there's only one wiki created, and it's titled Test Wiki. If there were other wikis that had been created, you could actually pick and choose which wikis. And then you can always change or show the name of the file as far as like how the viewer will see it can be changed by typing it in down here. Okay, and so I'll go ahead and do that. But to add the file, you want to click on Browse. Now what happens is you get a pop-up window. Now this window here allows you to search your computer to find your file. So in this instance, I'm just going to go ahead and take this picture right here. So what I've done is I've clicked on it. Notice the name now appears down here next to file name. I'm going to click Open. That pop-up will close and you'll see here that our file name appears. Okay, so let's go ahead and click File Upload. Now when the screen refreshes, the most recent file upload will appear. Okay, so you'll see that this is what was previously there, and here's the new one we've just added. Okay, it says file is of type image, so this kind of tells you that's a JPEG file, which is a friendly version of image. It tells you when it was uploaded, it gives you the date, time, and who uploaded. So you'll see the profile picture and their name. And then you'll also get a report of how many times it's been downloaded, so that if people have come in and viewed your page and wanted to download attachments from it, they could. Now how are they able to do that? Well, if we were to come back up here, when I say how are they able to do that, I mean how are they able to view what it is that you've attached, okay, your attachments. So if we click back on view mode, okay, you'll now see that down here there's a little link that says this page has attachments, and by clicking on that they're taken right into this page. Okay, now by clicking on this, I click open, we're given the image. Okay, and then from there the person can do what they want. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. And to get back away from the image, I click the back arrow on the web browser. Okay, so that's kind of how attachments work, and to give you an idea of how attachments can be utilized within your wiki. It can be a useful tool that way. Another area, let's go back to view mode, so we can always kind of work from this mode. So I am in view mode. Mainly the first tutorial went over how to use all these tools and how we added all this information kind of here and what this is. So again, if you haven't viewed that, you'll want to get a better understanding of how to use the wiki. One of the functions you have within the wiki will be this drop-down menu titled Choose Wiki Links. Okay, so if you see by clicking on this arrow, this entire menu appears. Now we don't need to talk about everything in here, because I don't think it'll be worthwhile or matter to you. One of the things we do, or some of the things we want to talk about, quick finger. One of the things we want to talk about in this window is the sitemap, which is the first choice. Sitemap takes you to a page that, depending on how many links or subpages there are, will determine how much information is here. So for instance, what we have here is, right now we're viewing the sitemap for the test wiki. That's the name of the wiki. Okay, the first page, or the main page in the wiki, is called test wiki. Okay, there is a subpage off of that that we titled "This is to create a new page." Okay, so it shows you the hierarchy. So anytime you see a title here and then an indented title below that, you see main page and a subpage or linked to page from that main page. Okay, now anytime you're working within this drop-down menu, anytime you're working within this drop-down menu, if you're on one of these other pages, the best way to get back to the main view isn't by clicking on the View tab. It's by coming to this page and then clicking on the title of the main page. And I'll show you that in a minute, of why or how that works. So what are a couple other pages within the Choose Wiki links that you could possibly use? One is potentially the page index, okay, which is a list of all the pages that currently exist. Okay, you'll see here that you have your file download page or your file upload page where you can do attachments. There's the title we're looking for. There's the new page or the subpage that was created off of it. And of course, by clicking on any one of those, it takes you to that page, just as I did here. Okay. Another one that's I think worthwhile in here is to be able to track what new work is done. Now you can also see this through history, but if I were to click on newest pages, okay, it gives me information to see, and of course the newest page will always appear on top, going to the oldest page to the bottom. And again, by clicking on it, because it's linked, it gives you when it was last changed or updated, and the date and the time. And the time always runs in military time, so this would mean 3:47. But by clicking on that link, I'm taken directly to that page. Okay, and again, notice here I'm in view mode. All right, so because I'm in view mode, and this is a link taking us back to the main page, by clicking on that, I can go back to the main page. All right, if that link wasn't there, you would get to the main page from what we talked about previously through the sitemap. You can go to most visited page to see who's viewing what. That could be useful. Most often change pages, that allows you to see how many changes are made, so that if you're working collectively as a class, or if you have a group that you're working in, and you want to see how often people are changing and making updates or seeing who's doing what work, you can. A list of updated pages, and the next one that's probably the most important for you would be the file download page, okay, as far as pages that you would use. All right, and updated pages, all that is the page that kind of shows you what updates have been made on which page. All right, so you can see a few of these sources kind of give you similar bits of information, so it really just depends on what you're looking for. And then the file download page would be just the page we had talked about before in reference to the attachment page. Okay, notice here it's titled file download. Okay, but here's a prime example. So if I were to go click on view, it keeps me on this page. It doesn't take me back to that first page in our wiki. So I have to go up to the Choose Wiki links. I have to click on sitemap. Okay, and then once in sitemap, click on that main page I want to get to, or to go back to, or if you're wanting to go to one of the sub pages, you would see that listed there that you could go to. Okay. The only other thing I would like to point out in here refers to up here. Now again, if you remember back to the first, the part 1 wiki tutorial, video tutorial, I discussed how depending on the settings the instructor gives you will determine how you can operate or function within a wiki. Well, one of the settings that, if it's created, allows separate pages to be created amongst your classmates or your peers. And one way to access those pages to see what they're doing, what kind of work they're doing, is to come up here. In the right-hand corner, it'll say Other Wikis, and this will give you a drop-down menu. Okay? And from this drop-down menu, you would see a name. And by clicking on the name, these would be other folks in your class. Okay? By clicking on a name, you're able to go into their wiki page. Okay, so the instructor has set it up so that everyone has their own page within the class, and that you need to be able to view what others have, or see or download one of their attachments, or link to a hyperlink they've provided, or read what they have posted to be able to make comments to. You would need to navigate to that through that drop-down menu that would be located up here. And simply by clicking on their name, that would allow you to be taken to their page. Now, you will not be able to edit content on their page because it's their page. Now, if they're part of your group and you all are working in a group together, then yes, you would both be able to edit content. But when they're individual pages such as this created, you wouldn't be able to. And that's between part 1 and part 2, those are the the majority of the functions within a wiki that you as a student will need to know how to use.